Yo, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again with another disturbing Jay Slater video. I actually put a playlist together for the Ayub podcast. If you haven't seen me debunking all those lies, make sure you go and check that out. Yesterday's video, we were discussing Lucy. I think we need to discuss Lucy in more detail. In fact, I was looking at the Lucy, the Brad, and the Ayub podcast. I was kind of listening to them side by side. And there was one thing I noticed listening to all three of those interviews. One thing I noticed is that Ayub and Brad were overthinking about what they were saying. They were thinking way too much about what they had to say. And that's the reason why they were all over the place. Couldn't really string together a sentence, a coherent enough sentence for us to understand the story or what actually happened. However, Lucy was a bit different. Lucy was more direct with what she was saying. Lucy was a bit more confident with what she was saying. She did seem like she was treading carefully, wasn't trying to give too much away. But Lucy seemed like she was a bit more urgent with what she was saying. It's like Jay's life was in serious danger. She kept reiterating that Jay needed a drink. And like I said in yesterday's video, it doesn't make any sense why she would keep reiterating that Jay needs a drink, especially after Ayub confirmed that there was water in the fridge and he bought Jay drinks and so on and so forth. What that's led me to believe is that Jay never left the Airbnb at 8 o'clock. I also suggested this 2 months ago. In order for Jay's body to reach that point of destination, it would have taken Jay at least an hour and a half to get to that point. So their times don't make any sense. 8 o'clock to 8:50 just doesn't add up. But then if you go back to Lucy's interview and her statement where she kept saying Jay needed a drink, that kind of takes me back to what I was thinking 2 months ago. Jay had to have been in that ravine way longer than we're being told. If Jay was dehydrated and really thirsty, he couldn't have just been gone for an hour. He had to have been gone for several hours. He had to have been in contact with these guys because he would have had battery. Like Ayub told us, when he was at the Airbnb, he knows that there was messages being sent between Jay and his friends. So this is where the wool's being pulled over our eyes by either Ayub or Lucy and Brad. Because if he was having messages between him and his friends whilst at the Airbnb, they could have done everything in their power to ensure that he got home safely from that point. Clearly, if Jay feared for his life, or if, like Ayub said, Jay started moving like he was shook, he would have told them that via messages. So there was no real need to kind of leave the Airbnb in the fashion that he did, unless he knew that someone was coming to the Airbnb that he didn't want to see. Or Ayub's just talking BS, and we're sitting here speculating about what could have happened at the Airbnb, and Jay wasn't even at the Airbnb. And just to quickly mention, when we say Jay wasn't at the Airbnb, we're talking about inside the Airbnb. I believe to a degree, if Jay would have taken that picture at the back of the car, then that would have been taken in front of the green garage outside the Airbnb. So that means Jay would have been at the Airbnb. However, looking at that picture again, I'm not too sure if it is Jay. And that's because of the nose and the gap between the lip and the nose. Now, taking ourselves back to Lucy's interview, if we really take in what she was saying, Jay couldn't have left the Airbnb at 8 o'clock. He would have needed to have left that Airbnb hours before the time they gave us. Now, they could have all been there to witness him fall off the cliff. And that could have been the reason why they decided to take the screenshots, because the screenshots are basically where he had fallen. Unfortunately, due to their stories that they had given, that led to Jay not being found for 29 days. And the reason I say that is because they're not looking for a drunken, drugged up Jay. They're looking for a compass mentis, confident walking Jay. That's the difference. They're looking for two different types of Jay. So based on where that body was found, a confident walking person wouldn't have gone down there or fallen down there. It would have made no sense. The only way that person would have got down there would have been if they were placed there or if they were pushed there. Let's say Jay was as waved off as he was in the last bit of footage that we see him in. If they would have taken him there and everyone was together, and by this time the air would have got to him, he's high up in the mountains, it could have been a bit, whoa, he could have been feeling a bit dizzy. That could have led to him stumbling, falling. And at that point, if it's pitch black and you don't know where you're at, you can't really see the landscape of the area, like Ayub claims, then that's where he could have taken a trip and a fall and fell off. But they didn't realize he fell off until they went over and realized, oh my God, he's not just there, he's gone all the way down there. Now, if that's the case, and that was the scenario that took place, then why not just be open and transparent with the family and the police? Because that would still go down as accidental. If that was the story, it means that there would then need to be an investigation into that. It does seem like Lucy knows way more than she's telling. The video we done yesterday, 20 minutes missing time. 20 minutes from when Brad was on the phone to Jay to when Lucy was on the phone to Jay. There was 20 minutes. What happened within those 20 minutes? Big up Streamline Entertainment, man like Marvin. He's been doing a fantastic job when it comes to this Jay Slater case. Recent video that he done, there was talk about Debbie, Ayab, Lucy, Rachel, and Brad all linking up. Now, I'm not too sure how true this is, but it would be really stupid for all 5 of these people to be seen together. Now, allegedly, they were all in a barbershop. I'm not too sure what they're doing together. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sure the media would have captured that. Someone should have captured that. This barber spilling the beans without no footage, no evidence. It makes no sense. Anyway, let's listen to this.
On Ali, Rachel Hargreaves said she flew out with Debbie.
Well, that's contrary to what I've been told. So, come on, Rachel Hargreaves, you tell us the truth, please.
Well, she said that she flew out with Debbie at Tuesday the 18th, but we think that Rachel Hargreaves was out there before.
I can't confirm that, but what I can confirm is the confirmation that Debbie flew out on the Monday, the 17th.
On Monday the 17th. So Debbie flew out there on Monday the 17th.
And I've had that confirmed today.
Monday the 17th, but wasn't it said on their... on the live alley that they've done, that they flew out on the Tuesday? I'm sure it was the Tuesday. They said the Tuesday.
They did. They said the Tuesday, and I thought that's...
So I thought Jay went missing, a whole day went by, and that evening going into the morning, which would have been the 18th, that's when Debbie would have been told to fly to Tenerife. Then that morning, which would have been the 18th, the morning of the 18th, that's when she flew to Tenerife. Now, allegedly, this lady has confirmation that Debbie flew to Tenerife on the 17th in the morning. So that's before Jay even posted the Snapchat pictures. That means that those pictures are 100% fabricated, but it also means that Debbie, Lucy, or whoever knew that Jay was already dead or knew Jay was in a bad situation, and Debbie just needed to get there as soon as possible. If this is true, what's being said right now, ladies and gentlemen, it means that Debbie would have been on her way to Tenerife before Jay even put up the Snapchat pictures. Are you telling me whatever happened to Jay happened earlier on in the morning? That would make sense of what Lucy's saying when Lucy keeps saying Jay needs a drink. Because how would someone need a drink when Ayab had drink in the fridge and he bought them drinks at the shop? The only way Jay would have needed a drink and would have been adamant that he needs a drink to Lucy over the phone is if Jay had spent hours in that ravine, which means the times that they've given us are BS, they're lies, they don't make sense. So if this is true what Marvin's saying, then to a degree it does tie in with what Lucy has said all along, that Jay was thirsty and needed water and a drink, because it means that Jay would have been in that ravine for hours. Not 40 minutes, not half an hour. We're talking 3-4 hours. That also means that someone would have had to have put him there. Maybe he ran away from someone. And maybe he spoke to his mum and told his mum that he had run away from someone. And therefore his mum was like, all right, cool, I'm going to come. We'll link up and I'll get you home safely. That's why Debbie was on her way.
Fine. 7:10 in the morning from Manchester Airport. I thought that's fine. But now we have the information that Debbie flew out on the Monday, and I had that checked yesterday.
Wow. So this woman is saying it with confidence. She is saying it as if it is facts that Debbie 100% flew out on Monday the 17th at 7:10 in the morning. That would have been before Jay put the pictures on his Snapchat. So if that was the case, then who had Jay's phone then? Debbie wouldn't need to leave the UK and book a flight at 7:10 in the morning if Jay was okay, because he posted the picture in the blanket at 7:30 in the morning. If this is true, it proves someone had Jay's phone. What's also interesting as well is the message that Debbie would have received the moment she got off the plane. She would have received that message. Was that message sent to her on the 17th and not the 18th?
Me that information had said that she flew out on the Sunday, and I said, can you check that, please? She came back and said, no, it was first thing on Monday morning, the 7:10 from Manchester Airport.
So
Wow.
And I said, well, that's strange because
Yeah.
Lucy didn't report him missing till lunchtime on the Monday.
So why would she be flying out there in the morning if like I said, he wasn't reported missing by Lucy?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it?
It doesn't make sense. And the only way I can make sense of that is if they already knew what happened to Jay. They must have known what already happened to Jay, whether Jay was dead or Jay was in a situation where his life was in danger. They all knew. And for me, the screenshot ping locations were just for the authorities to find the body. They never knew that it was going to take 29 days. They thought the body was going to be found within a couple of days. Maybe 1 day, 2 days. But it took 29 days. Now, if you go back to the Brad interview, one of the questions were, so you was on the phone to Jay, tell me what happened. If you actually listen to what Brad says, he doesn't actually tell you what happened. He just more or less pinpoints where the body is. He doesn't actually tell you what happened. He just tells you where the body is. That's what he does. He tries to pinpoint where the body is without telling you where the body is. Let's just quickly look at that again.
So you were actually on the phone to him that morning. He video called you. Tell me what he was saying to you.
He was on the phone and he goes, I'm not walking down over on that road.
So he was on the phone to me and he goes, I'm not walking down all of that road. Listen, guys, how would he know what road Jay's talking about if Brad's not there? Brad would have had to have been there in order for him to have known that Jay wouldn't have wanted to walk down all of that road. But people are missing the point. Brad was trying to indicate where the body was.
He's gone over a little bit, like a little, not a big drop, it's just a little tiny little drop.
He's gone over this little bit, not a big drop, just a tiny little drop. Again, take in what he's telling, man.
Down there. He goes, I'll ring you back, I'll ring you back. So I think
he's gone down there and he says, I'll ring you back, I'll ring you back. So that's literally where he's gone and that's where the body is because he never rung you back. The moment he says he's going to ring you back, we've got 20 minutes missing time, ladies and gentlemen. 20 minutes missing time because that was at 8:30, just after 8:30. And then Lucy says the call died at 8:50. So we've got about 20 minutes, even 15 minutes missing time. But again, listen to what Brad's actually saying. He's not telling you what Jay told him on the phone. He's telling you where Jay's body's at. It's been 2 weeks. Again, at this point, they would have thought Jay's body would have been found. Now, they can't come out and say, look, man, the body's just there. But they're indirectly telling you that the body's there. It's another reason why Chris Tenerife disappeared for 4 days and he came back literally when this video dropped. He came back around the 28th, 29th of June, and he was a totally different person. He was adamant that the body was there and they weren't looking anywhere else other than there. And guess what? He said that they found the body in an inaccessible area where the Guardia Civil said Jay wouldn't have went because he would have needed ropes and a harness. Bearing in mind the Jay they're looking for is a confident compass mentis Jay that isn't drunk, isn't drugged up. Chris Tenerife and them lot were right. He was there because the body was found there. And people are going to say, oh, well, the body was planted. At this moment in time, we don't know if the body was planted. It doesn't make any sense for the body to be planted because it means that they would have had to store that body for 29 days. The body was in a decomposed condition. So it doesn't make sense for them to have stored the body. The body would have had to have been there for the whole 29 days. Now, when we get told about identifying Jay through fingerprints, this is where I think the person that helped these guys cover this up, that side, that crew, that government official, those guys just wanted to wrap it up and get everyone off the island. But they just wanted to shut things down and move on as soon as possible because this Jay Slater case is detrimental to their island. So yeah, there's probably 1 or 2 lies from the Guardia Civil, their fingerprints, but it is Jay's body. That's the bottom line. And the UK coroner confirmed it as well. So now what we need to determine is how Jay got there and why Jay got there. But again, listening to what Brad's got to say, Brad in his interview was just there to let everybody know where the body was without letting you know where the body was. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Make sure you hit that like button. Do subscribe to the channel if we are newly watching. And comment down below. I need to know exactly what you are thinking right about now. Is Lucy lying? Is Abe lying? Is Brad lying? Did Debbie actually fly into Tenerife on the Monday? Guys, I need you lot to comment down below. Just let me know your thoughts right now. Turn your notification bells on so you don't miss out on future videos. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.